Hello there. Long time no see. Oh boy. But indeed, it's been far too long. And I'm gonna basically just jump right into it, since it's been such a while, and start showing off a few things that I've been able to work on in my free time over the past, I don't know, week or two, or however long it's been. Kind of hard to keep track of time when I'm running around seemingly with my head cut off. So the first item that you see before you is something vaguely inspired by the disintegration rifle that the Mandalorian uses. Quite obviously, that you can tell from the front here. Though I, one, didn't want to exactly make it because I don't really have a Mandalorian cosplay, and two, I wanted to make it somewhat like, well, kind of going into reason one, make it something a bit of a Fallout handmade improvised weapon. And also three, I don't technically, at least in my opinion, have developed the skills to make an exact, screen accurate sort of disintegrator rifle. So this is as close as I am right now. What this used to be actually was a prop over under shotgun. So this here would flip out and everything, but I've basically just frozen all that together, glued it. So this does not flip anymore. I of course sawed off that top barrel to sort of make it slender in appearance. I made a few changes, but that prop really wasn't going anywhere. It was just kind of a dead end. I had made it out of leftover parts from the bolt action rifle. It was just kind of a placeholder. But now I have turned it into something. So we're going to just start at the front, at the most obvious part here. You can kind of tell this is actually a copper pipe fitting here with the screws and everything. And I just glued that right onto the dowel. Just kind of jammed it on there. Super glued these carved pieces of wood on. I had to somewhat put little indentations on the wood so that they fit over that little hex piece there, so they could more flushly fit on. After that was done, I then painted these up, gave it a bit of black scoring across here to sort of show the bolts coming out, and how it would burn the metal. All throughout the barrel, I kind of dashed it with some other copper and dull gray paints. Don't know how well they kind of show up here, but it's to sort of eliminate some of the shininess from the base paint that I used. Of course, I have this hook screw acting as a improvised front sight, and here is just one dowel being shoved into another. I drilled that out. Then we go down here, have some spare little power, some little wires I have from an electronics kit. If I keep going, this is originally where it would have basically unhinged. I actually had like a cabinet latch inside, so it did lock into place. It was a little loose, but it worked. Covered that with some thin pieces of foam to kind of get rid of the very obvious opening that had been there previously. Simply glued that here onto the stock. Again, little eye screw there that acts as the rear sight. Then we start to get into more detail. So, let me reposition myself here. So this was actually, what was this? This was the insert for some sort of drill bit sander piece, and it really did not work out. If I had the product label, I would give a quick shout out not to buy it. But the rubber insert, I still got some use out of. I slapped it on there, drilled holes and attached those wires. This is kind of like the power hub here, the control unit. You see all the different wires I attached in there. I have not fully secured this little piece, but that could actually be kept as a plug. This was like an old, I believe this might have been an old printer cable that I chopped up into several pieces, because then I put it into this little Y junction used for hoses, glued that in, and into these. These are actually little jewelry storage cylinders that I got from the nearby arts and crafts store. And on this particular side, to fit the wire into the junction, I actually used little Lego cylinders to better fit the wires, because they did not exactly fit perfectly. They were too loose. This side, I don't know how or why, but it fits better. This side, not so much. I then just put a screw through there to anchor that whole thing down. Let's see. And then of course these two cylinders, I kind of just put them on these hooks here. These would act as the battery sources, the batteries for the laser rifle. You could, I haven't made these yet. I have some little chandelier. I have an old chandelier. The plastic inserts that would be the lights, the candles, as it were. I can repaint those, and once I have them repainted, and I think the length is already good, but those will be the little battery cartridges, right, that I can put into both of these. And the idea is once you run out of charge, you pop these open, replace them, and then just reload. And then we have, I kind of expanded the stock. It was a little short in my opinion, so I just crudely slapped this on there. But yeah. Now, if we look at the markings that I tried putting on here, see if I can get close to the camera, you'll see the little power symbol, plus minus, so this is a power switch. And the idea that I had was like this lowest setting would be stun, that would be lethal, and that maximum power would be for armored opponents, you know, so extra lethal. This is the mode or rate of fire. The glare is kind of killing me right now, but I put MDE for mode. And then there's a circle, a little dash, and then the lines to show single shot, then one shot, and then full auto, so semi-auto, full auto. Again, just little knickknacks to kind of give it some interactivity. So let me try to get one more close-up of these. Yeah. But that is basically it. I didn't put any sort of trigger in this one, so this area is not as detailed as on the bolt action, given the nature of kind of threw this a bit, I threw this together in a bit more haphazard of a manner. I guess it kind of goes with the aesthetic of the gun though. So if you were in like a survival Fallout situation and you needed a laser weapon, this might be your best option. Try to get some full shot of this, and then just kind of drag it back. So yeah, and it's about almost as tall as I am. This is maybe what, if I'm about 5'6", this is about 5 feet long. Maybe 4 feet actually. 4 feet's a bit better probably. But yeah, that is the sort of Fallout laser rifle that I've built here. I thought I'd make a quick video out of that. And actually, while I'm on this subject, it's not directly related to this. Yeah. But if we go back, if I go back to the bolt action rifle, right? I wanted to flesh out the equipment that an infantryman would have. So what I did is I have this little pouch. I can't remember who I purchased that from, but that was at a convention I purchased this. But this little bag, right? I thought this looks big enough for maybe a notebook or whatever supplies. But then I thought, what if it was a soldier's ammo pouch or something like that? It's a little small to be an ammo pouch, but it works. So on a related note, I made these little guys as well. I made some improvised stripper clips out of plate metal. Now these are just little plastic bullets that I got from Party City last Halloween, so they're not real YouTube. These are just props from Halloween section at Party City. Disclaimer, disclaimer. But yeah, I was able to cut out this thin brass metal. I think it was brass, probably. And I cut out the strips, and I was able to then bend with the pliers these little lips and then pound them in very slightly. Ooh. And they do in fact hold quite well. And I have enough metal to make at least another 3 or 4 of these, but like I said, this pouch is somewhat on the small side, so I might just leave it for 3. And they fit in there pretty well. Like so. And then you would just hook that on the belt. So I thought that was pretty neat. It kind of added another detail to that particular cosplay from a previous video. And now that I think is truly it for today, at least. Might record some extra videos while I have the time. But I thank you for joining me, and I hope you found this somewhat of an interesting project here. And I hope to catch you in the next one, when I have the time. But I hope you all have been doing well. You know, hanging in there. I know, especially for a lot of people around this time, graduations and everything can be pretty busy. But for a lot of people, it's summer vacation. Not for me, though. For those of you who have summer vacation, I hope you enjoy yourselves. For those that don't, well, I hope the week is treating you well. I hope to see you again. Peace.